Christians pray to God. Muslims pray to Allah. Jews pray to Yahweh. Buddhists pray for advice from Buddha, while Hindus pray to many different gods. So what is prayer? According to Webster's dictionary, prayer is an address as a petition to God or a god in word or thought. The controversial issue of prayer in public schools has been around for many years. Critics claim that prayer time in schools goes against the First Amendment. However, as Bill Clinton once stated, nothing in the First Amendment converts our public schools to a religious-free zone or requires all religious expression to be left at the schoolhouse door. In contrary, the First Amendment specifically protects the institution of religious exercise, prayer included. The First Amendment reads, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances." Oftentimes, the anti-prayer movement tries to argue that prayer in school violates the First Amendment clause of separation of church and state. However, as you can see, this clause is not found anywhere in the Constitution. The phrase was coined in a letter by Thomas Jefferson to a fellow forefather in which he addressed his very fear of the government hindering religious practices. Muslims are required to pray 5 times a day. How can they do that if they spend 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, in a place where they are not allowed to pray? Wait, doesn't that go against the whole freedom of religion in the First Amendment? Even George Washington addressed the issue back in 1789 when he said, "If I could have entertained the slightest apprehension that the Constitution might possibly endanger the religious rights of any ecclesiastical society, certainly I would never have placed my signature to it." In 1962, the Supreme Court ruled in the case of Engel v. Vidal that official prayer in public school was a violation of the Constitution. When the court ruled that mandatory prayer had no place within schools, this did not mean the abolishment of voluntary prayer. Recently, in a Colorado high school, a group of students were banned from praying, singing religious songs, and discussing religious topics on their free time. While other classmates spent that time reading, studying, texting, snacking, socializing, or meeting in school clubs, Windibank held a prayer group. All the students were spending their free time how they pleased. However, the students who were exercising their freedom of religion were punished for it. How does a couple of students praying hurt everyone else? Why do other people care about what this group of students do on their free time? It's okay to spend their free time gossiping, but not okay to spend it praying? Even though the Supreme Court has ruled that mandatory prayer is unconstitutional, never has it interpreted that prayer itself is illegal. In fact, a literal interpretation of the First Amendment concludes just the opposite. The freedom to practice religion without persecution was a founding principle of this country, and the abolishment of prayer would be a direct assault on that very freedom.